Yeah, 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 yeah. Woo! As you can tell, I'm very excited. Yeah, today I'm doing a different type of video. Back to my older videos, which is about film. I'm hoping to do at least one of these a week, and then maybe, possibly also get 2 videos out a week, which will be challenging. But you know, I'm well up for it, if you guys are. Cough, cough, indeed. So I thought, hey, what's a good idea? What's a good thing to talk about within the film genre? Does that work? Can I say film genre? Media! In its own media. So I thought, hey, Star Wars came out a few weeks ago, and I saw that. Do you know what? There's no point. It's probably too late for me to just do a review of Rise of Skywalker, so why not just talk about the sequel trilogy in general? But yeah, that's what we're going to do in this video today, and you know, we're just going to talk. So sit down, grab some popcorn, because it's a film-related video, and you know, you eat popcorn when you watch films. I don't know what you eat when you watch films. I mean, I don't even eat popcorn, I eat hot dogs. So, I don't know why I said that. Moving on. Just sit down, get ready for my opinions. Coming on the Opinion Express. Next stop, your face. How about that? So, let's start off The Force Awakens, obviously, because that is the first one that came out. Obviously not the first Star Wars film, that was Star Wars 4 A New Hope, or Episode 4 A New Hope, or just Star Wars, if you were born or alive when it came out. So Force Awakens was essentially the return from Star Wars, the first Disney produced Star Wars film and the first Star Wars film since Revenge of the Sith. And I think people were a bit lukewarm on the prequels. I certainly am. There's stuff I like the lore, but I don't like the actual films. But you know, I was probably one of the more excited peoples for the film. Peoples, wow, great English there, Aaron. I think Force Awakens, I'm quite biased on it because it's the first Star Wars film I saw in cinemas. You know, that is quite an experience, seeing Star Wars in cinemas for the first time, because you know, you got all the lasers and stuff and it's very cool. So that's quite, you know, that's quite close to my heart. But yeah, I think it sets up some good stuff, even though it's basically the same as Episode 4, which is one of the big complaints that people had about it, which, you know, that's fair enough. You've got your own opinion. You can have that opinion. I am happy for you to think that. I thought, you know, one of the things I thought was good was seeing all the old characters back again. Like Harrison Ford as Han Solo. I thought that was great to see him, even if he wasn't having a great time there. I thought seeing Leia was cool. And then seeing Luke for 5 seconds at the end was alright. I was kind of like, oh yeah, this is awesome. But then when you think back at it, it's like, it's a bit annoying he wasn't in that film that much, was he? And you know, I thought some of the new characters were good. I thought at the time Finn had an interesting backstory, which was cool, and he was a fun, happy character. You know, at that time, that was the thing I was looking for. I thought Rey was okay. She's a bit boring, but you know, she's all right. She's a decent main lead character. Poe, at the time, I thought nothing of him because he's barely in Force Awakens, like at all. Kylo Ren's alright. I thought his lightsaber was cool. You know, the hilty part of it. But yeah, in general, I thought it was an alright film. It's fun, and you know, at the time, I thought the whole thing that J.J. Abrams was doing with like setting up all these mystery boxes, like, oh, who's Rey's parents? What's another one? Stuff like that, you know. And you know, looking back, there's not a divide in this film as there is with the others. Like, a lot of people enjoyed it, and there was like kind of like a small minority who didn't. I think a lot of people were just happy that there was a good quality Star Wars film out that wasn't just boring and had terrible acting, even though all of them, if I could be honest, have quite bad acting. The original 3 are good, but everybody else is kind of a bit hammy. But that is fine, you know. That's part of the Star Wars genre. I mean, in all honesty, these films are about space wizards flying in spaceships with little laser swords, which are essentially flashlights with that can cut things. It's silly, but we love it, don't we? Well, some people do, some people don't. Okay, so I think I'm about done with The Force Awakens, so now you're probably thinking, I wonder what Aaron thinks of The Last Jedi, the most controversial Star Wars film of all time. Oh, I hope he doesn't like it, because it's a bad film. I can respect people's opinions in not liking it and the decisions the films make, but honestly, from the bottom of my heart, to the top of my heart. I really like it. It's in my top 5 Star Wars film. I can see why people don't like it. I don't agree when people say it's a bad film in general. It's a good film. It's well made. The production is pretty good. The music is nice. The sets are great. The costumes are great. The acting's a bit naff and wobbly with certain people. Right. It's a cool film. It's new. It's got ideas. It's unique in the Star Wars films. I don't understand why people hate it, but I do. Which is weird. I don't understand, but then I also understand why. But I sometimes, every now and then I go in thinking, oh, this is the worst Star Wars film apparently, isn't it? But I just don't believe that when I'm watching it. I can't trick myself into thinking that. It's one of my favourite ones. I think it does good stuff. And here are my top 10 reasons why I like that film. So I said top 10 reasons, but I actually meant 5. That was a mistake. Reason number 1. Luke has one of the best arcs in all of Star Wars in this film. I love how he goes from just not wanting to teach Rey, he's given up on the Force, he's no longer the Jedi Master. I think I like the idea how his failure from letting Kylo Ren turn to the dark side and his whole Jedi Academy falling down is just great, because it sets him on this journey throughout the film of him realising that he has to be this legend which everybody knows, you know. I think it's great, and I think Mark Hamill does a good job in this film. This is his best Star Wars film. This is the best Luke, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people think, oh, Luke wouldn't do that, you know, especially in the part where he's about to kill Kylo Ren. But now I'm like, but he didn't. Did you watch the film? He literally did not kill Kylo Ren in the end. He looked at his lightsaber and decided, nope, I'm not doing this, but everybody thinks he did. Number 2 is the use of the Force. I think some of the best parts of the film is the use of Rey and Kylo being able to see each other, you know, the whole, like, Force. I can't remember what it's called. The way it's also done in the film, how it's actually edited, is really good. I know one thing people definitely did not like was Luke at the end Force projecting himself. I think that's cool. It works within his arc as well. At the start of the film, he's taken himself away from the Force. He's not using it anymore. But then at the end, he's using all his power from the Force for one last stand to save the Resistance. I think it's great. I will say, I do agree with the Leia bit where she's flying. That's a bit weird, but it looks alright. The first time it was a bit like, oh, that's weird, she's doing a Mary Poppins, but now it's fine. Point 3 why I like it is I think the whole last hour of the film's great. Do you think it drags on for a bit, but it's got a fast-paced, action-heavy ending, and it's a lot of just tense stuff, and all the scenes are great. Point 4, the planet and creature design is probably my favourite I've seen out of any Star Wars film. Porgs are great. Crate is a cool planet with the it's a great planet, more like. See what I did there. I think the speeder thing when it's got the red stuff and the salt, that's really cool. What more can I say? And then also point 5, which I think nobody agrees with me, I like Rey being a nobody. The fact that she's a nobody but more powerful than someone who is of Skywalker blood, Kylo Ren, is just really cool. I think it's more interesting than her being like, oh, Luke's daughter or something like that. I wish they stuck with it, spoiler alert. But yeah, those are pretty much all the reasons. The only thing I don't like is probably Finn just being saved at the end. I thought he could have died. He could have died. Okay, and now we finally reach the last film in the Skywalker saga and the Disney sequel trilogy, The Rise of Skywalker. I have opinions. So coming out, watching the film, it's a fun cinema experience. I'll give it that. My keyword for the film is fun. I enjoyed the big set pieces with the spaceships. I enjoyed the lightsaber fights. I thought Kylo Ren becoming good was cool. I thought the fan service was really cool. I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying this. And then when you think about it for a bit, you're kind of like, that was really bad. Like, technically, it does not work with the last 2 films in any way. Well, mainly it doesn't work for The Last Jedi, which is my favourite out of the trilogy. First I'll say, it's a 3-star film for me, which is good, enjoyable. I will watch it. I don't hate it, but I kind of do. My opinion, I'm like mid-ground right now. My main problem, my main annoyance is basically J.J. Abrams obviously didn't get what he wanted from The Last Jedi with his trilogy. and decided that maybe he should just change everything and retcon all the stuff from before, which, you know, a lot of people are coming out and saying they're not. They are. They did. It's pretty obvious. Luke Skywalker literally says, "Oh, I shouldn't have thrown that behind my back last time," which is definitely a dig at it. And I know his character has got to that stage, and technically he should be able to say that, but still, along with all the other stuff in the film that retcons it, it's definitely a dig at The Last Jedi, which is really annoying. I think it's unfair and unprofessional how someone has just made the first film in a trilogy and then just went, okay, you guys can do whatever you want with it, but still has this plan in their head, and then when they get put on again, instead of working on from what Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi, he just completely does his own thing, almost as if he's forgetting that film even happened, which I think is really unprofessional. But hey, what are the things I liked? Well, I liked Kylo Ren in general. I thought his redemption was cool. I enjoyed him being good. When he kissed Rey, that was weird. I'll say that. I also liked Poe. Poe is always cool. Oscar Isaac plays him well. I like his quips. He's a Han Solo of this generation, even though Han Solo is in this film, which I like. I like that scene. I enjoyed Luke pulling the X-wing out of the sea. I enjoyed that. I thought that was cool. I was like, oh yeah, he finally did it. I thought Leia's death it worked with what they could do. I appreciate they had a lot of problems, obviously, because of Carrie Fisher's death, and I think they did the best they could with that. Yellow lightsaber's cool. Love seeing a different colour lightsaber. I thought the ending was nice. I thought it was nice seeing Rey on Tatooine burying the lightsabers, even though it was a horrible place for Luke and he wanted to get out of there. It's like, oh, you've gone back to your roots. I thought that was nice. I thought the flashback with the CGI was alright with Luke and Leia training. That was fine, because it was only like for a second. I got annoyed with the Rey Palpatine thing. Just have her not related to anyone. It's fine. You did it in the last film. That was the revelation of that. You don't have to go, oh no, she is. Thought the Snoke stuff was stupid. How he just, I am Snoke. And then you just got this tub of Snokes just laying there. I was like, oh, that's disgusting and weird. There was a lot of things where I was like, well, that could have had more impact if it even was related to the last one, like the fact that Chewie and Lando had to go and get loads of people. I thought that was cool, how all the ships come in, but I didn't feel anything. I thought it was a cool idea, but I didn't feel anything. I liked seeing the ghost there, but it didn't like show any of the characters inside, like Hera or Son or anything, so that was annoying as a Star Wars Rebels fan. I liked the idea of when Rey's on the floor and she hears all the voices of the different Jedis. I thought that was cool. It was a good way to get different cameos in from different series and movies. I thought that was really cool. I don't know why they didn't do Force Ghosts. They could have got everybody in to do that. I would have been happy to see the Force Ghost there. That would have been cool. I mean, they showed Yoda in the last film as a Force Ghost. Why not have him back in this one and have everybody else in there? I don't know. It's fine. The Luke scene's pretty bad, I'll be honest. The acting's a bit dodgy there. Yeah. It wasn't the Luke from the last film, I don't think. I don't like that. I didn't feel much in this film. I thought if it's supposed to be a last of a trilogy and a last of 3 trilogies, and I didn't feel anything, like, at all. It's the national treasure of Star Wars films, I'm going to say. It's just a lot of, oh, MacGuffin, big fight at the end, we're done. Wow, I went on a proper little rant there, didn't I? That's fun. I'm lukewarm on this film, no pun intended, and it just doesn't work at all as a trilogy. It works, it just doesn't work. This film would work if there was another film by J.J. Abrams in the middle. It just doesn't work at all. It really doesn't. I think coming out of this trilogy finishing, the things I like is I like the aesthetics of the films, which is just Star Wars aesthetics, really. I like they look good, is what I've come out thinking. All the films look good, at least, and all the designs for the creatures are cool. But a bit disappointing, really. In all honesty, I think there's only one good film in this trilogy, and that's The Last Jedi. And Rise of Skywalker basically makes it non-existent. So there's no good film in this trilogy, because it's not a trilogy anymore, it's a duology. I don't know. Bit of a depressing end to the video here, but you know, it is as it is. I think I found now that I'm a bigger fan of the TV shows and the animated shows and just the games more than the films, because the films seem a bit inconsistent apart from the original trilogy. But yeah, well, do you know, even the prequels are more consistent than the sequel trilogy, which is bad. But I think now that they're done with this, they can do new stuff, which is good. I'm happy that this film didn't turn out great, because now they should get a waking call to just make good ones, original ideas. That Ryan Johnson one's not happening. I know that. I've settled with that. My heart is at peace for that. But hopefully everything else turns out all right. I still love Star Wars though. I really do. It's a fun. I always look forward to seeing the films. They're always fun. That's the end of the video. I'm gonna put that there. I've got nothing else to say. Please like and subscribe. I'll put the link in my podcast with Josh down below. It's good. It's a great show. You should watch it. Buddy Talk Podcast. We're on episode something now. You're always in. Yeah, it's good. We're doing some stuff on now, which is cool. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. There'll be another video, another film video out next week, and another Disney video out next week as well. So thank you for watching. Goodbye. I'm so sad.